Good day, it's Dave, and this is your Ottawa real estate market update for January 2021. Okay, in this video I want to talk about two major items. One, we're going to look at the statistics of December and all of 2020, but I also want to briefly touch on the state of emergency announced by Doug Ford yesterday. So first, let's get to the stats. Starting with December of last year, we sold just over 1,000 units on the multiple listing service, which is a lot. That's up by 32% compared to December of 2019. If we look at average sales prices, a condo on average will cost you just under $356,000. That's an increase of 14.4%. And the resale value of a residential is just under $604,000. That's up 20.6%. So a remarkable appreciation in both condo and residential. If we look at the year over, the full year statistics, this is really interesting. At the end of 2020, average prices increased by 19 to 20%. In 2019, we saw a 9% overall increase in both residential and condos. So this past year has been record-breaking in many ways, and the amount of appreciation experienced both in the residential and condominium is unprecedented. Even the previous year, 2019, we thought was remarkable, and 2020 was double that appreciation. Remarkable stuff. If you go back even a few more years when we had more of a balanced flat market, you see appreciation wasn't that much, 3 to 5%, 3 to 7%. To see 19 to 20% in 1 year is staggering. And although roughly the same number of total number of transactions, in fact, I think it was within 2%. Within 2% of 2019 was the total number of units sold. Just by sheer fact that the prices are much higher, the volume, the dollar volume of these transactions was significantly higher. That's a function of the increase in price. So where are we at today? In January, I want to show you some stats. And this is, they started doing this towards the beginning of the first state of emergency back in March of 2020. And you have blue, orange, and red lines here, blue being 2019, orange being 2020. And red, we're just starting off the year with a short red line there. So you can see for 2020, it was following more or less the same pattern as the previous year. But then the state of emergency happened and everything kind of stalled out in the market. New listings plummeted, when normally that would have been the busiest time of the year for new listings. And we stayed in this kind of slump where this low activity amount that, throughout the spring, summer. And towards the fall, you can see where the orange line is over the blue line. We kind of made up some of that lost time, and that's why we closed the year within 2% of total units sold. And so I think this graph is very informative to us because we are now experiencing a new lockdown, a new state of emergency, excuse me. And we don't know what will happen, but if it repeats the same pattern as the first state of emergency, we might expect that the new listings and in much the same way sold properties is basically the same line pattern here. We could expect that this red line might not increase at the same rate as past years, that we may have a slump during this stay-at-home period. And so for the next short term during the state of emergency, we may see an even slower market. And we have been at ultimately ridiculous low inventory right now. There's very, very, very few homes available for sale. There's still a ton of demand. People are still shopping, and there's not a lot of homes to be found. And so when a new home is added to the market, it's not uncommon to see a frenzy of activity around it. Many buyers, many offers, and it's selling in multiple offers, often without conditions and often above asking price. And so what happens with a state of emergency? Well, I want to talk about how does this impact the real estate industry. And this is an announcement from the Ontario Real Estate Association. And real estate is still considered an essential service. Your home is essential. And so what that means is we are still allowed to transact in real estate. We are still allowed to work with our buyers and sellers. Of course, we're observing all the strongest, tightest safety protocols to ensure that everyone stays safe during this pandemic. but we are still allowed to carry on business. So that means if you're shopping for a home, we can help you search for a home. We're going to do all that we can to help the search online. We can look at homes in person. We're going to do that very carefully, and you can talk to us more for that. When we're working with sellers, again, we're trying to do all that we can virtually to promote our homes, the listings for sale virtually, to reduce the amount of traffic through the home. But ultimately, buyer, it's reasonable to them to ask to see the home before making such a financial commitment, and there are still showings happening during this time. So real estate is essential. If your plans are that you need to move in the short term, please reach out to us. Our team is ready, we're equipped, and we know how to handle this delicate market and to help ensure that everyone stays safe and that we have the best transaction as possible. Thanks so much for watching. Give the video a thumbs up, share it with a friend. If you're on YouTube, make sure you smash the like and subscribe button. And until next time, I'm Dave Robertson, your real estate professional for life.